Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'll be showing us how to draft this corset dress here with a basque waistline and yoke. So if this is what you're interested in, kindly watch the video to the end. So I'll be starting from the top of my paper here to mark out my chest line measurement of 8 inches, my apex of 9.5, my length to under bust of 12.5, my half length of 16.5. So I'll be marking this point on the other side so I can get a straight line. After which I'll mark my hip measurement of 8 inches, and this hip measurement here is what I'll be using as my blouse full length because I want my blouse to be long on the inside. So I'm going to label each of these lines my blouse full length. Next I'll be marking my nipple to nipple measurement of 4 inches from my shoulder to my blouse full length. Then I'll draw out a straight line. Then from my length to under bust to my blouse full length, I'll be marking 1 inch on both sides of my bust span line, like so. Then I'll connect the 1 inch points together. Then I'll be connecting the point to my apex using this part of my curve. From my apex now, I'll be going up by ½ inch. Then on my shoulder line, I'll be going out by 1 inch on both sides of my bust span line and connect the point like so. Next I'll be getting my shoulder measurement of 8 inches on my chest line and on my shoulder line. Then I'll draw it using a straight line. So the next thing I'll be doing now is to mark my bust measurements divided by 4, and I'll be marking that on my chest line. I'll mark my waist measurement divided by 4, and I'll be replacing my 2 inch darts. I'll mark my hip measurement divided by 4 and replace my 2 inch darts because we're going to be cutting out that 2 inch dart. If we don't replace it, our pattern is going to become small. So this is it, guys. Next I'll be going out by 0.25 from that point, and I'll be marking 1 inch on both sides of my apex line so I can get my bust dart. Now I'll mark my shoulder slope of 1 inch, then divide what I have left by 2. From that midpoint, I'll be going in by ½ an inch, then connect all the points together. Then I'll be getting my shoulder slope. So now I want to replace the dart I have on my shoulder because we'll be cutting it out, which will make our shoulder short by 2 inches. So we need to replace it to get a new armhole. So I'll be marking different points on the straight line there. Then mark the same points on the straight line here. Please watch carefully. Then I'll measure what I have on my darts at each point and replace it. So you can see how I'm getting it. I'll measure what I have at that point, then replace it on my old armhole to get the new armhole. So now I'll be marking all the points together to get my new armhole. Okay, so this is it, guys. So now I'll be extending my shoulder slope a bit by 1 inch and be connecting it back to the midpoint. This is because our dress is going to be having a shoulder pad. So I'll be connecting it to the midpoint like so to create room for the shoulder pad. Next I'll be getting my neck depth for my yoke of 8 inches. Then I'll be using a width of 3 inches. So I've connected it like so. So I'm just using my marker here to make the point, to make our lines visible. So we'll be cutting out all these parts. Now I want to curve out my yoke from the main bodice. Then I'll be marking my bust tightening on both sides of this dart using 1/2 inch. I'll connect it back to my apex, and I'll be using this part of my pattern curve also. From that bust dart, I'll be connecting it to my shoulder like so. So this is it, guys. We'll be cutting out the dart. And by the time we close it up, this is how our front yoke is going to be like for our dress. Now I'm going to be snatching 2 inches out of my measurement. So I'll be going in by 1/2 inch on the side of my blouse, and I'll be connecting it back to the hip. So this is it, guys. So I've reduced my waist measurement now with 2 inches. Now for my back pattern, I'll be coming down from my paper with 2 inches. Then I'll mark my chest line measurement of 8 inches. Then my half length of 14.5 inches. So our front half length was 16.5, while our back is 14.5. Then our hip line of 8 inches, which also serves as our blouse length. So this is it. Then I'll mark my shoulder measurement divided by 2. I'll mark that on my chest line and also my shoulder line. Then I divide what I have there by 2. I'll be marking my bust measurement divided by 4 on my chest line, then connect it to the midpoint on my armhole line. Then I'll mark my neck width of 3 inches and go up by 1 inch from that point, and connect it to the tip of my shoulder, which is my shoulder slope. Then I'll be extending up slope with 1 inch for my shoulder pad, which I'll be connecting back to the midpoint of my armhole line. I'll be coming down by 1/2 inch on my shoulder line for my neck depth, like so. Next, I'll be marking my round body measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch for that. Then I'll mark my hip measurements divided by 4 also. Then I'll be connecting each of these line points together. Next, I'm going to determine how wide I want my opening at the back of my dress to be, and I want it to be open with about 3 inches. So I'll be marking 1.5, and on the hip line I'll be marking 1/2. So please, your back should not be too wide for this part. Then I'll be marking out my lacing bar, my grommet bar of 2 inches. I will draw a straight line also. So I'm using my marker to highlight each of these lines. Now I'm going to determine how I want my yoke to be. You can have any style you want here, but I want mine to be this way. So this is how I'm going to be marking this. Okay, so this is it. Next, I'll be going in with 1/2 inch from my side to snatch or snatching. So I'll be snatching 2 inches away from my waist measurements. Then I'll be dividing what is left by 2 to get my dart leg. I'll be marking 1/2 inch on both sides of that midpoint. Then I'll draw a straight line. Then I'll be drawing my dart legs of 5 inches above my waistline and 5 inches below my waistline, like so. So this is what we have at this point. So all these parts, we'll be cutting them out. Next, I'll be marking out my back sway. I'll be going out by 1/2 inch on both sides of my waistline. This is to help eliminate any excess I might have at that point on my back. So this is it, guys, for our upper bodice block. Now for our skirt block, I'll be coming down with 1 inch from the top of my paper. I'll mark out 1 inch all the way. So that top of my paper now is going to be my waistline. So the next thing I'll be marking is my hip line of 8 inches. Then my knee line of 20.5 inches. And my skirt full length of 38.5 inches. So I'll mark at that point, those points again, then get a straight line. Then I'll be labeling each of these lines. And please, my knee line measurement is from my waist to my knee, not my shoulder to my knee. So my knee is 20.5 inches and my skirt full length is 38.5 inches. Then I'll divide my waist measurement by 4. I'll mark it out. I'll divide my hip measurement by 4. And on my knee line, I'll mark my hip measurement, but go in with 1.5 after marking it. So whatever I have is the same thing I will maintain all the way to the hem. So I'll repeat myself. What I have on my hip line, I'll mark it on my knee line, but go in with 1.5 inches because this is a pencil skirt. Then whatever I have in total on my knee, I'll be marking it all the way to my skirt full length. Then I'll be snatching my skirt also with 1/2 inch like I did on my blouse, and I'll connect it back to my hip line. So this is our new waist for our skirts. So you can see that the shape it's given is a pencil skirt, not a straight skirt. So we'll be following this blue marker here when cutting. For our back skirt now, I'll just draw out a straight line. I'll mark out my hip line of 8 inches. Then next, I'll mark out my knee line of 20.5 inches. Then my skirt length of 38.5 inches. I'll draw out a straight line. Then I'll mark my waist measurement now divided by 4. So I won't be adding that to this skirt. I'll divide my hip measurement divided by 4, which is 10.5. I'll mark it also. Then on my knee line, I'll be marking 1 inch from the center back. This is for tightening. Then from that tightening, I'll be marking the same thing I have on my hip, which is 10.5. Then go in with 1.5 to give me 9. So it means what I'm having on my knee line is 9 inches. And I'm marking the 9 inches after the 1 inch, not before the 1 inch. So from the 1 inch now, I'll be marking the 1 inch all the way to my skirt full length and connect all the points together like so. Then from this 1 inch, I'll be marking what I have, which is 9 inches. So I'll be marking 9 inches all the way to the hem of my skirt. So on my hip I have 10.5, on my knee I have 9, on my skirt full length I have 9. I'll be coming down from my hip line now with 5 inches and be connecting it to that 1 inch point on my knee. Then I'll be doing my back zipper tightening of 0.75 on my waistline, which I will connect back to my hip line. I'll also be getting my 0.5 inches snatching, which I snatched on my blouse. I'll do the same on my skirt. Then I'll mark my back sway. This is to help eliminate excesses at the top of my skirt of 1/2 inch. So this is how we are going to be cutting our skirt back pattern. I hope it's understandable. So this is it, guys. So that's it for our skirt. This is our center back, our side, and our center front. We'll also be cutting out these parts. This is to help enhance the butt at the back of our skirt. So this is it, guys. We'll be cutting out our pattern now, like so, and in the next video I'll be showing us how to sew this dress. So I'll tape my yoke, front yoke together, then cut it out. Now I'll be closing up my bust dart carefully, then I'll tape it down. I'm just going to blend the lines that are no longer in place, then I'm going to cut out. So you can see I cut out the 1/2 inch for the snatching, and this is my front yoke. So for my back pattern too, I'll be doing the same. I'll cut it out like so. I'll cut out my back yoke, keep it aside, and I'll be closing up my back sway. I'll also label the pattern here, so it's not, I don't sew the up to the down. I'll label the up, the side, and the center back. So this is how we'll cut our yoke also. And guys, we've come to the end of this tutorial. You can see all our pattern. In the next video I'll be showing us how to sew our dress. So guys, thank you so much and bye for now.